Hello, everybody. The Worm here back again, and we are reaching what feels to me to be some sort of end game area. One of our locked routes has opened up, and that is both exciting and frightening because I do not entirely know what that means. We have this pink/violet route here. And it was in this route. I sorry if you see. I'm not sure why I keep flipping between route and route. I'm sure it's not a big deal. I don't know. I should be consistent, right? I'm gonna say route, and let's try to keep with that. This violet route here. And in this one here, we had Iris. Where we left off, I should say, is we found Iris dead exactly like in the Somnium, where she was frozen, stabbed in the back multiple times, and had her right eye carved out. Which is somewhat fascinating. This was the route where Date decided to not believe Iris and instead try to convince her that it was delusion that she was believing, the whole stuff about Nizit laws and all that sort of thing. This led to Iris not trusting Date, and presumably she went with either Renju or 89, depending on whoever it was. I think we decided it was probably Renju who came and picked her up from the Matsushita diner. Which is very interesting because now we have the knowledge of the end of the Iris route. We now know that the prototype sync machine is located in an abandoned chemical plant in the Kabasaki district, which is very interesting and very important for many reasons. Now we have this whole sequence of events now calls into question everything that happened 6 years ago, whether or not before it seemed that perhaps So and the Kumakuras had. It was a question of whether or not they were taking advantage of an accident, or maybe they caused the accident. Now it seems like whoever's behind all this, again, it's either they caused the chemical thing or taking advantage of it, which is pretty crazy considering it caused hundreds or thousands of people to have to evacuate a district of Tokyo, which is pretty crazy. So this is either someone taking advantage of a very messy situation, which is, could be evil all in and of itself, or someone is, taking a huge gamble that they can get away with this if they're the ones, if they actually caused the entire situation just to hide a sync machine there. So still not sure about that. In any case, now that we know that the sync machine is there, it gives us quite something to think about. That I last time while the credits were rolling, I was thinking maybe the prototype sync machine actually stabs your eye or something, particularly your left eye, because when Iris was taken out of the machine, and it was never explained, Iris, Date, and Aiba did not comment on it, but after the Somnium in the sync machine, the prototype one, her left eye was bleeding. It was closed, so we didn't see if it was still in there, but I would think it probably was. But now we have to think about, okay, was Shoko put in the prototype sync machine? Was Renju put in the prototype sync machine? Was So Seijima put in the prototype sync machine? So who's doing all this stuff? And obviously Iris was most likely put in that sync machine during her whole thing where, you know, she was at the fishery with the bear. This Violet route is interesting in that way, in that her right eye seems to be... You see, it's so similar to the Somnium that it almost makes me think that it's someone that, like, it's maybe Pewter or Boss. It's either they're behind it or they told someone. Now we know there's a connection between Renju and Pewter, so maybe he told Renju about it. But again, I don't understand really the motivations behind why whoever is doing this is doing this. I had surmised that, or theorized that Iris was the big bad, but she keeps getting pulled around, tossed around by others, be it Renju or So or whoever. It feels less and less likely that it's her who's behind all of this. Renju's obviously deeply involved, but I'm still hesitant to put him in the culprit seat. It feels like it's too easy for it to be Renju. And it feels like it's too easy for it to be So, you know? It's like they're the obvious two right now. Because we now know that Renju is directly trying to get Iris. And we know Iris went to So's place and seemingly took her then to the Kawasaki district. So So and Renju are definitely involved. If they're not the culprits, they are working for or being blackmailed or forced to work for the culprit. I'm pretty dang sure that is the case. 89 didn't really enter back into the story, which is interesting. Still don't know why Date has a memory from the viewpoint of 89. That's weird. I feel like this green route here, I feel like getting... Obviously, it's still locked, so of course it's going to be enlightening, but I feel like that's going to be... We're going to get, like, the big answer at the end of this one here. So, let's go ahead and continue along this Violet one. So, just found Iris's body. Let's see what happens next. Am I recording? It appears so. Let's begin. Jutai. So now it's the morning.
Have you settled down? The scene is being inspected without you. This time the body didn't disappear. However, you lost consciousness. I didn't expect you to faint. Seeing that corpse must have been incredibly shocking. I did not predict you to be the fainting type. I suppose humans are unpredictable. Now that you're back, let's get back to business. You are conscious, are you not? Are you at a loss for words?
I just want to check something real quick. Still 3 people missing here. Are we finished with this? No, still a few things. Ooh, some alternate hairstyles. Is it me or does Boss and Iba have kind of similar hairdos? Not exactly the same, but similar.
Date, don't let negative thoughts consume you. Thinking that Iris died because of me. If I never took her to Ota's, this wouldn't have happened. If you truly believe that, then your brain is completely rotten. Or perhaps when you saw the corpse, your head became filled with images of blooming yellow dandelions.
What?
Oh, you're talking now. Was I correct? If you consider the situation logically, even an elementary school student would understand.
Huh?
Fine. Allow me to pluck some of those dandelions from your mind. I will ask 3 questions. Please answer honestly.
Okay, shoot.
First question. The cold storage warehouse was not in regular operation, but even so, the AC was on, and a minus 58-degree temperature was maintained. Why is that?
To preserve something.
To preserve something.
Yes. Let us move on to the next question. Second question. There was something strange about the corpse. Do you remember what that was?
I'd say probably of these, maybe this one is missing the eye.
That is a unique factor, but there was something else. Something more peculiar.
Then completely frozen?
Iris's body was completely frozen. The temperature read negative 58. With Iris's weight... Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh? It should have taken about 18 hours to freeze solid.
Well, I don't know the mechanics of freezing, so fair enough.
But we were...
Wait a moment. Before you draw your conclusion, allow me to ask my final question. Question 3. 2 days ago, Sunday night, you found a dead body in the cold storage warehouse.
Are you saying it's not really Iris? Are you saying this is a stand-in?
But afterward, you visited the Sagan household and discovered that Iris was in fact still alive.
Okay.
Why?
You mean
You mean?
You've got it.
there's 2 irises? That would be... Uh-huh. It bolted into the warehouse like I was shot out of a gun. Is it a real... Okay, so is the body... Is that a real human corpse? Or is this a fake thing? It's a fake. There's no skeleton, right?
I don't believe it.
It's like a model? Or sculpture or
The
something?
stomach is swollen slightly.
Oh no.
She appears to have been pregnant.
What? Say, so it is a real body. Usually when you do X-ray and Date vision, it shows the skeleton, but... What?
How?
Do not worry. The uterus does not contain a fetus.
You mean after she was killed?
No. The fetus was not present in her body when she was killed.
What in the world's going on here now?
She must have been killed after giving birth. The distended stomach does not immediately shrink after birth.
Hold on. What? Is it gonna be something like... Is it gonna be something like... Is Hitomi not Iris's real mom? Is this like... Is this like Iris's real mom? Or something? And... What? What in the world? My immediate thought is this is Iris's mom. So Iris's mom got killed? Was she killed by the original Cyclops killer or something? And then what, was Iris given to Hitomi to raise?
The expanded uterus takes some time to return to its normal size. This evidence makes one thing perfectly obvious.
It's not Iris.
This corpse isn't Iris. It's someone else.
Which means...
And that means Mizuki... When did Mizuki see this? What?
Iris is still alive.
Not necessarily. She could be alive. We haven't confirmed that yet.
Yeah, but we gotta be positive, Aiba, for Date's sake.
Multiple stab wounds with a single-edged, sharp object to the victim's back. Judging by the size and shape of the marks, the weapon was most likely a kitchen knife.
It was Mayumi the whole time.
This matches what you said on Sunday.
So this is the body I saw then. Is there an estimated time of death?
Impossible to determine. This body has been completely frozen for at least 10 years.
10 years, at least. What about 18?
10 years? She was killed more than 10 years ago?
Exactly. Her identity is unknown. Her killer is also unknown. But there is one likely suspect.
Who?
Let's consider the clues. The scene. Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Sunday night, we saw So here.
Yes. So did he...
And there is something else about So Sejima.
Did he bring... Was that corpse at So's place or something and he brought it there?
We witnessed someone similar to Iris being stabbed repeatedly in So's Somnium.
But it wasn't Iris. It was this woman.
That is highly likely.
What we saw was So's memory from more than 10 years ago.
I believe that is the case.
What in the world?
Renju and So?
Yes, those are my two that they're
But we still do not know where Renju is.
That means that we need to talk to
So Sejima.
Aiba. Who is this?
Unknown.
Jane Doe, but it's definitely not Iris. I'm guessing it's like Iris's mom or something, and that Hitomi's not her real mom. Mizuki and Oda kept searching for Iris, but unfortunately they didn't turn up anything. Iris's whereabouts are still unknown. She's probably in the Kawasaki district. I'm worried about her, but without any leads, we'd just be looking for her blindly. I should focus on the investigation for now. It will eventually lead me to Iris, I'm sure of it. With that in mind, I headed to So's mansion.
I thought I told you never to show your face here again.
Sorry, Dad. I've got questions. First, I need to know what's in your pond today. Nothing, apparently. I guess we're in serious mode because the game's not cracking any jokes. How come you don't have any guards today, huh? Because the game needs to progress, so we're not going to have anyone stop us? Okay. Fair enough.
I didn't come here for Shoko today.
Yeah. How come you were keeping the body of a woman from over 10 years ago?
I didn't come here for Iris either. Instead, I'm here for a girl who looks like Iris. Did you kill her?
Date, look.
I knew it.
He knows.
You killed her, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've had enough of your shit, Congressman. You wanted to check on the body of the girl you killed. That's why you were at the cold storage warehouse 2 days ago.
Why would it be stored there, though? Was it just, what, sitting at the bottom of a forklift for 10 years? That feels off.
Where is Renju Okiura? You know where he is, don't you? You were at an Okiura fishery warehouse for a reason. There's definitely a connection between you two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not all. Number 89 called your secretary. The same number 89 that Renju escaped with. Now tell me, where is Renju?
Suddenly. Hey, there they are. A gang of bodyguards stormed out of the mansion. In an instant, they surrounded me.
We'd like to ask you to please leave.
What is the goal of all this, man?
Damn it, so!
There's nothing we can do. We did arrive without a warrant. We were technically trespassing. If he had called the police, we would be in a predicament. We would have been detained immediately. Who would look after Iris then? Do you intend to leave your responsibility with Mizuki and Ota?
Ah!
Calm down, Date. We still have our lead.
Lead?
Before I explain, we need to discuss the corpse in the cold storage warehouse.
Okay.
Let's give her a name. Because she is frozen solid, we could call her All Ice or Alice. What do you think?
You're being very glib today, Iba.
Alice and Iris. I believe it fits nicely.
Sure, why not?
Alright, Alice. What about her?
Someone might be able to identify her.
Who?
Allow me to ask you 3 questions.
Again with this?
First question. You have seen this corpse more than twice.
Mizuki might.
3 times, in fact. When was the first time?
What day was it? Was it Saturday? Yes, it was Saturday.
Three days ago. Saturday night when I synced at Abyss.
Yes, in the Somnium world. We saw the frozen corpse of a girl.
I'm glad the game's addressing
Question
this.
2. Who is the girl?
I'm gonna guess. What is this? What? Alice, I guess.
Now I know. That girl was probably Alice.
Most likely, yes. So we have technically known Alice for 3 days.
Mizuki is, of course, the daughter of Renju and Shoko. Was she with Renju and saw it once or something?
One last thing. The final question. In which Somnium did we see Alice?
Mizuki.
My roommate, Mizuki Okiura.
Exactly.
Mi-
You mentioned
Maybe you-
something about Mizuki's Somnium being some kind of prophecy.
Maybe Mizuki went to the fishery with her father once and saw it or something.
But prophecies are nonsense. Dreams are not made of the future. They are made from the past.
Yes, I've been asking this whole route. I've been saying, when did Mizuki see this? I always thought it was weird that Date just never asked Mizuki, hey, what was that corpse you saw? Like, he just never did.
Mizuki has seen Alice before.
There is no other explanation.
Iba, where is Mizuki now?
Where we went with Iris yesterday, the Kume Shrine.
The shrine? Why would she be there?
Unknown. She is supposed to be looking for Iris.
Okay, let's go.
Let's a go.
Date,
Did you find Iris?
if I did, I would have told you already.
Right.
Hey, Mizuki. Where is Ota?
I think he's searching Akihabara right now. Last time he checked in, he said he didn't have anything.
Where's Renju?
I think Iris is with Renju.
With Daddy?
Yeah. Her note mentioned her most trusted person.
And she's probably in the Kawasaki district.
It's probably Renju.
Yeah. I remember that mermaid girl saying something like that.
He was looking for Iris.
Does that mean that Daddy is the one who called for Iris?
Could be, so I need to know where he is.
But I haven't been able to get a hold of him.
What are you doing here?
Iris used to like this shrine. She told me about all her memories here. We used to come here all the time. You know those steps in the front? We would sit there together and talk about things, like what gluten-free means, and eyelash extensions, and aerial yoga. And we would talk about all our problems together. Sometimes we would talk late into the night. So I thought that maybe she'd be here, but it looks like I was wrong.
Mizuki, I have something very important to ask you.
I told Mizuki about the frozen corpse we called Alice.
You've seen her before, haven't you? 3 days ago, I saw her in your Somnium. The body of a girl who looks like Iris, Alice. Your dreams are built from your memories, so that corpse... Mizuki, please, answer me. Iris's life is at stake.
Huh? What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? I told Mizuki everything. About how Renju ran off with the assassin 89. How 89 is connected to So Seijima. And that Seijima is linked to Alice's murder.
I need to know everything about Alice. If I find out who she is, I might be able to solve the mystery of Renju and number 89.
I'm guessing she's Iris's mom. It's not going to be some weird... Well, the thing is, then the question is, if it's Iris's mom, who's the father? And it could be So Seijima. It could be Renju. But if it's not So, why would So murder her? She was cheating on him, maybe? I don't know.
And that might lead me to Iris.
Mizuki looked down at her feet quietly. You could see agony in her face. Silence lingered. Finally, she steeled herself, lifted her head, and spoke.
Okay, I'll tell you about Alice.
That would be very helpful, please and thank you.
It was about a month ago. I saw my daddy crying in the president's office at Lemniscape. I was peeking through a crack in the door so he didn't see me.
Just a month ago, huh?
Daddy got up, then got into his car and drove away. I had never seen him like that before.
Did you hide in his car?
I was curious, so I followed him in a taxi.
Oh, okay.
That led me to the cold storage warehouse. He got out of his car and went inside. I followed right behind him, quietly. Daddy was standing next to the forklift in the back.
So, yeah, they just had a corpse in the forklift for over 10 years, huh?
I hid behind a shelf. I watched Daddy open the hood of the forklift, and then, after a little bit, he left. I wanted to know what he was looking at. I went over to the forklift, and I looked under the hood myself.
Was it guilt, I guess? Guilt that he caused this, or was part of it?
And then...
You saw Alice's dead body.
But at the time, I thought it was Iris.
What'd you do after that?
The corpse looked exactly like Iris. I couldn't believe she was dead. I just couldn't, so I went to Iris's house.
Huh? What's wrong, Mizuki?
Iris was alive. I thought I was going crazy or dreaming. I tried to convince myself that it was just a hallucination.
Did you talk to Renju about it?
What do you mean? I couldn't just ask. It would have changed everything. I thought that as long as I stayed quiet, everything would be okay. I didn't see a dead body. I wasn't even at the warehouse. I repeated that to myself over and over and tried to forget the whole thing.
Repressed memories are often the subject of Somnia.
That's why Alice showed up during the sink.
Why didn't you call the police?
What was I supposed to do? Daddy would have been in trouble.
So you kept quiet this whole time?
Yeah. I actually met with one of the higher-ups at Daddy's company last night.
Last night?
Before I went to Matsushita Diner.
Why?
Because you asked about the cold storage. I was curious. I asked around some,
And?
I found out that Daddy was managing the warehouse before I was born. After my grandpa died, Daddy took over. In exchange for managing the warehouse, he gave ownership of the company to someone else. I guess he didn't want to let this place go. Or maybe he couldn't let it go. That's more accurate.
Because the body was there.
But I understand why. Inside that warehouse was...
Alice.
It still just feels odd to me that they just left it there. Why couldn't they get rid of it in some way? Both Renju and So are involved in all this. And Renju apparently has the means to hire a mercenary company. What's the significance? Is it just the guilt? The emotional attachment to whoever this was? What's the deal?
On paper, Daddy has nothing to do with Okiura Fishery.
But he specifically owns that warehouse.
Daddy was still managing the warehouse. And he was the only one allowed in there, too. That was part of the agreement when he gave up the company.
Well, only one allowed, but it's not like he has guards. Anyone could walk in or break in or, you know.
And the whole thing had to be a secret. They really stressed that point.
How long?
Hey, Mizuki. How long was he managing the warehouse?
For 18 years.
Hey, there it is. Yep. Pretty sure that's confirmation. Iris's mom.
That's what the man told me.
18 years? From that long ago?
Yes.
Iba, I need an emergency search. Missing persons from 18 years ago.
Understood.
Huh?
Date. I found her. The girl who looks like Iris.
What's her name?
Monica Iwai. 19 years old at the time of her disappearance. A graduate of Itoku High School.
Ooh, that's loaded. That's loaded. Renju and Hitomi went there.
What?
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High.
Yep.
We've known each other for 20 years now. When I was young, I lost someone very important to me. Monica Iwai, my best friend. One of the only friends I had.
I don't remember when this was said. Sorry. I did not write this down.
Alice is Monica.
Monica. Just Monica? Monica? So it's not Iris Sagan, it's Iris Iwai?
Hitomi's friend who went to the same school as her and Renju. But why? Monica's body was found just now, but even back then, Hitomi knew. She knew that Monica was already dead.
Ooh. So maybe not necessarily she's in on it, but was... Well, maybe she was in on it, but what was... Oh, man.
Iba, where is Hitomi right now?
At headquarters for questioning. MPD still believes that the body they discovered was Iris.
Got it. Contact boss. Have them bring Hitomi to
Oh,
Abyss.
are we gonna... We're gonna sync with her?
Roger that.
Okay. Here we go. Arrest Hitomi. Get on the ground.
You're awfully calm. You saw the corpse of your daughter today. You were called into the station to confirm her identity. And yet here you are, cool as a cucumber.
Which is weird because in other timelines regarding Iris, she does get emotional and break down. Is it because she knows it's not Iris?
Even though you lost your precious daughter. Shall I guess why?
Yeah, just this. Because it's not Iris.
Because that body isn't Iris, and you know it.
Are you serious?
Yes. Her name is Monica Ely. She was killed when she was 19. She went to the same high school as you, and she was your best friend. Isn't that right? Nothing to say for yourself? Hiding something? Maybe you killed her with Renju.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, now you're talking. But we know Renju committed a crime, illegally disposing of a body, and we can prove it.
Because Monica's corpse is completely frozen, it is difficult to determine her time of death. However, her appearance appears to be unchanged from when she went missing 18 years ago. Thus, it is extremely likely
So her big...
just turning 18.
Probably this one.
Monica's corpse was hidden under the hood of a forklift in Okiura Fishery cold storage where this warehouse has been under Renju.
Yeah.
Mizuki witnessed this report.
The cold storage warehouse where the body was found. It's been managed by Renju Okiura for almost 2 decades now, and witness testimony proves that he knew about the corpse there. And if I'm not mistaken, you knew about the corpse too, Hitomi. You and Renju have been close since high school. It's not too much of a stretch to think that he told you about the body. And I remember you telling me once.
When I was young, I lost someone very important to me. Monica Ely, my best friend. One of the only friends I had.
Well,
How did you know that she was dead?
she said lost. Did she say dead before? It was in the other scene.
I didn't.
Don't play dumb. I know you're hiding something. You know what happened 18 years ago, and you knew she was pregnant. You were her best friend. Of course you would have known.
Yeah, she was such a good friend that she would actually take care of her kid after she died.
Tell me. Tell me everything.
Date, she's not going to talk. Sync with her.
Yeah, it's our answer for everything. Let's just sync.
Date, I'm sure I've told you enough times by now, but please, come back within 6 minutes.
Okay, traitor.
I can't promise you that, Pewter.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not coming back until I find something.
Date, you can't.
Why not?
You know why.
Because it will take over my consciousness?
What does that mean?
Yes.
But if it's only a little...
No, not even a little. If the sync passes the critical point, the damage will be irreparable.
But what does that mean exactly?
Thank you, Date. My question exactly. Exactly. You guys, you two. I can't trust anyone now. I only trust Aiba. Aiba's my only true partner. Screw everyone else. Everyone's hiding everything from me. Can't trust Boss, can't trust Pewter. I can trust Mizuki. Mizuki and Aiba. Only 2 people I can trust. Yeah, no duh.
No.
I'm not hiding anything.
Shut up, Pewter. I don't want to hear it.
Then
after
let's try
what you
it.
did.
Let's experiment with my mind. Then we'll know for sure what'll happen.
Fine.
Ooh, you're letting us, huh?
I'll just say it.
Yeah?
Say what?
Pewter, tell him.
What? You say you're gonna say it and then you tell Pewter. Okay.
Me?
You know more about it than I do.
Well,
Well, what? Why am I... Listen to what? Hang on. I'm paranoid.
Ask Pewter. He knows more about it than I.
Oh. Well, that's... useless. You look defeated, huh? You're actually gonna tell me? What happens?
well, first off, 6 minutes is not a hard limit. It could be 7, or even 8.
I don't care about the exact time. I'm asking what happens if you go beyond the limit.
It's strange how this is just... like, we've never asked or been told before what happens. What?
Do you remember the story I told you about the egg?
Vaguely?
Yeah, why?
If you imagine an egg as your consciousness, the yolk is what goes into the subject's brain. The white remains inside your shell.
Egg is your consciousness. Okay, so... So our mind... So part of our mind goes out, the yolk. And part of our mind stays. Yes, got it.
If you go beyond the limit, your yolk will not be able to return to its shell.
Okay.
Because the subject's mind will start to take over the sinker's consciousness, right? I know that part already.
Indeed, but there's more to it. After the yolk is devoured, the egg white is brought through the machine next.
Huh?
And there's more. It's not just the sinker's brain. The same process eventually occurs in the subject's as well.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, the entire egg ends up being replaced. Mind, consciousness, memory, they are traded. Switched.
Okay, that's really big. You're telling me... Okay, this is crazy. This is... Okay, what? Okay, This is... You're telling me that there's... I'm just gonna say it. Body swapping. This is what you're just telling me now? That's a possibility? That's something that's gonna... Oh no. Ugh, the implications. Oh no. You know, I tried to think about something along this angle, not necessarily body swapping, but like mind taking over, like cloning yourself or something, but this could be even more confusing because who's who now? If there's been... Oh no, if someone has had access to the prototype sync machine. So let's go along with the theory. Again, this my original theory. Let's assume. Let's go along this. I know it's. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a ton of stuff, and my original theory doesn't apply anymore. But I think part of it applies. Let's say, for instance, again, this is. I no longer think my theory's all correct. I'm just saying, for example, let's say Sejima is trying to fix his son, who is the original Cyclops killer. Steals the prototype sync machine. Finds someone to use it. I don't think he'd do it himself, but finds someone to sync with his son. And it's a prototype, right? And maybe they don't know the limits yet. What Peter has just said has just made it possible so that the old Cyclops killer could be someone else now. They could have switched minds with someone. So that means... So there is now a non-zero chance that the new Cyclops killer is in fact the old Cyclops killer. Plus, who in the world knows if someone's been using that thing? Like, they could... How often could they be using it? This is crazy. Someone could be running around, transferring over and over. Oh, this is complicated. Oh, this is crazy. This is gonna suck putting this together. Oh man. Okay, continue, Peter. Tell me more. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty clear.
The human brain has what can be understood as a memory limit. One brain can only hold one consciousness, and it can only contain
This was...
one person's
See, when they were saying things like consciousness take over, this is one thing I was thinking, but I didn't know they were going to go this far. But he's just saying it. Oh, this is crazy. But, so I think most of my original theory is probably wrong. With, Iris being the Cyclops killer, the new Cyclops killer. I think that's all wrong now. I want to think, though, that, like, the old Cyclops killer is majorly involved in this. But I don't know, would they have become Renju, or... Probably, obviously not Rohan. We know Rohan went crazy, but he didn't lose his eye, did he? Rohan just went to a mental hospital? He didn't lose his eye, right? Because... Why did Iris's left eye get wounded? Because if we could figure out, if I could get it for certain that the prototype sync machine like gouges out your eye or something, then we have a pretty clear trail, right? At least for some of the timelines, because it goes from Shoko to Renju to So to Iris. Oh, that's crazy. Someone's trying to do this on Iris. Ooh. Now I'm worried. Imagine, think of all the timelines here. Because now we're for sure someone took Iris to the Kawasaki district to do... Is that why they kill her? Is that why they kill Iris? Because they switched with her or something, and then they're getting rid of the body? What? But wait, no, does that make sense? No, I don't think so. I don't think that makes sense. Unless someone switched within her before. Unless Iris wasn't Iris to begin with, and then whoever that was switched out, and then they kill the body. And then, man, no wonder they don't let us speak with Iris in these timelines. If that is what is happening. Because then it probably wouldn't be the Iris we know, or maybe it would be. Oh, I'm so tangled up and confused now. I need to know about the eye thing. I need to know if it's for sure. If it's for sure that the prototype sync machine gouges out your eye, then that would be like a very clear marker of that. Okay, so I don't have a new complete theory. Like when I started, I laid out a new theory here. You know, when I started here, and then I added the addendum with the sync machine. But I think a lot of that's probably not right now. But I think I feel like the original Cyclops killer. Well, before we thought it was just Date and he had amnesia, but now we have to question. Okay, so now I'm for sure that Date, in quotation marks, was the original serial killer, but now I'm thinking that whoever that was may have gone to a new body or something. Am I sure of that? No, I'm not sure of that. Because why does he have amnesia? That's not switching. That's different. Why does he have amnesia? And he still needs to be drugged. I guess you could say that maybe a new mind was put in him, but because it's still the body of a serial killer, you know, that whole thing with Peter saying, oh, what was it, you know, he didn't have the capacity for love or something because his body didn't produce the chemical right or something. That could still be applicable, and that's why they need to drug him. Oh man, this is crazy. How many layers are we going here? But now, as I said, I wanted to know what that consciousness taking over thing meant was, because depending on what that meant, this could be crazy. And yes, we've crossed the Rubicon. We now have confirmation. We have body hopping, body swapping, and that's, oh boy. Like maybe someone hopped into Renju, or someone hopped into whoever. We don't know now. Now everything's in doubt, and we're gonna have to put this all together. Okay, anything else?
Now you know everything. Talk to the boss.
Why'd you keep it a secret?
I was unaware of this as well. This information is not on any accessible databases.
We had to prevent the possibility that the system could be exploited.
Exploited? But
Even if it wasn't you, someone else might try.
And I believe someone else has.
We didn't tell any sinkers this, including you.
Ooh, really? That seems like an odd choice.
Project Sync is a top secret project. It's a matter of national security.
I guess.
Even sinkers are on a need-to-know basis. Think about it. What if you were kidnapped by bad people who tried to make you talk?
bad people?
A criminal organization, spies from another country. Those people. If you blabbed about Project Sync, the entire country might be at risk. You heard it from Pewter. The sync machine isn't just for entering a person's somnium. It can also be used to swap bodies between two people.
That is so crazy.
Imagine what this machine would be used for in the wrong hands. That's why I didn't tell you. We can't let this secret get out.
Swapping bodies between two people? Trading minds?
We're officially in psycho sci-fi land now.
Remember what I told you earlier? Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I got it.
Are you really okay?
I'm fine. Start it.
Understood. Let us begin.
It's interesting that they're still going ahead with this, both Boss and Pewter. Like, Pewter should still be listening to Renju, right? And Boss is still letting us go ahead with this. What's going on?
God?
I am the god of fire. I burn erotic books with my flames of red-hot anger.
My, how ruthless.
Ow!
Are you okay?
That hurt.
I'll let you read this porno mag if it'll make you feel better.
I will burn it.
The fog is making it pitch black.
The light over there. Is that a firefly?
Don't know.
Somnium scan. Activate.
Who is that? Reveal the hidden secrets. Preferably before we swap into her.
It disappeared?
No, wait. It might still be nearby.
Man, I think I need to stop. Yeah. Normally I would keep going, but I only saved enough time for about an hour today, so if I had the time, I would go forward. I would do this Somnium, but I can't. I have to get ready for stuff, so we're gonna stop there, and we are going to think about this. We are going to ruminate. We are going to consider. We are going to go back through what we know and try and figure out who's who, because that question is now very much in doubt. Who is who? Oh man, I don't even know. Well, in any case, we'll have more to talk about next time. So I hope to see you then, and I hope you're all doing well. See ya.